Well, welcome in. All of you, supporting the orange and blue, the Denver Broncos. Man, it's great to be here on a Friday night. Denver Bronco Roundup, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and of course, sponsored by Morgan Trinkets. I'm your host, Keith Brugman, man, and I got a full panel, man. I'm excited to talk a little bit of Denver Broncos football, man. Whoo, boy, it's going to be a good show, guys. I can't wait, man, because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch up the screen a little bit, get our host right up next to me, man. Our guest, I should say, right up next to me. It's the stepfather, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick, coming in from the East Coast. Kenny, how you doing, sir?
Aloha, if Patrick's out there listening. I've been really hot here in Maryland, but we're getting through it. The humidity, the heat, it's that time of the year here in Maryland. So you might as well pull out the Hawaiian shirts, and I'll be getting some football color theme ones there. So close to blue and orange. I got green and orange today, but I think I can give myself a pass. But glad to be here with you guys on a Friday night, a rare Friday night off for me, gentlemen. So what better way to spend it than with my three friends out there at the Rocky Mountain Sports Network?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Kenny, if you guys don't know, part of the amazing K&K Sports Show, they have a plethora of shows over there, man, stemming from all sports to Giants to Yankees to Broncos to betting to you name it, man. You got to just go over to the K&K Sports Show. There's probably something on as we speak. Who knows? That's how much is going on over there, man. Appreciate you, Kenny, coming on. Like you said, rare Friday night. We got to take the stepfather whenever we can get him, so we're welcomed him in. Just like we're going to welcome in the judge, Mr. Jody Moncrief. Once again, part of the Denver Bronco Roundup. I feel like he's almost a special guest as of lately, but no, he's a regular guy, man. Right here, part of the Four Horsemen. Welcome, Jody. How you doing, sir?
What's up? Ready to talk Bronco football.
Ready to talk Bronco football, man. He's all about the business, man. All about the business, man, and ready to take off. Have a fantastic show this evening. The Rocket Man himself, Trevor Salzman. How you doing, sir?
Doing well, Keith. I'm glad to be able to join you guys on a Friday night. It's been a couple of weeks, but I'm glad to be back and glad to be able to join you guys and talk Bronco football, and let's get ready to go.
It's funny, man. I've never been on here on the show solo. I've never done a solo show. With that being said, I got a guest sitting right off to the side of me, and Mr. Kenny. I got Jody, who's made his recent return, and I have Trevor, who's missed a few Fridays, man. And yet here we are, man. Always bringing you Broncos coverage, Broncos content, and we appreciate you coming in. I got to say hello to the posse, like Ernie Mays coming in on Facebook saying, "Go Broncos Country only." Hello, Keith, Jody, Trevor, and your friend. Well, our friend is Kenny Kirkpatrick, and thank you very much, Ernie Mays. You'll know him. You'll love him if you haven't seen him before. He's the stepfather. By the end of the show, you'll be a K&K Sports Show fan. So Adam and Kayla coming in saying, "Good evening, fam. Let's go. Let's go." Man, yeah, there's a lot of reasons to be excited, man, and I think we're going to kick it off in just a moment. Got to say hello, though. Oh, by the way, Adam and Kayla coming in saying, "What a special night. Y'all are blessed." And I tell you what, man, we are blessed, whether it be the great guest that I have in Kenny Kirkpatrick, whether it be, my two of the Four Horsemen sitting here with me right now, and Jody and Trevor, whether it be all of you in the posse, the chat, that is, man. Talk about being blessed. Absolutely, buddy. I appreciate it very much. And, I gotta kick myself every once in a while to just remind myself that it's a reality. It is a very, very blessed world, and I appreciate that. Michael Ronquillo, man, talk about some royalty, saying, "Good evening, Keith, Albert, Jody, Trevor, and Kenny." No Albert tonight, man, but I appreciate you giving the shout-out nonetheless. Go Broncos, orange and blue hearts, clapping it up K&K style. We appreciate you so much, Michael, so much, man. Can't tell you how much your support from almost the get it has meant to us over here at DBR. And my good friend, who I just saw last weekend, in Mr. Jeremy Dressler, coming in and saying, "Sup, fellas, go Broncos." Sup, fellas? Absolutely, Jeremy. I'm so excited for this Broncos team, man. This week has got a little spark in me, man, and rocking the Avs. That's got a little reminder in me. We are brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network, so whether it be Avalanche, Rockies, Broncos, Nuggets, we got you covered over at Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Check us out over on our RockyMountainSportsNetwork.com. So that being said, man, I always like to come in here and kind of give our guest the floor. And Kenny came in early and he said, you know what? I have a question for you. But first, Kenny, I'm going to have to get to a question for you and the rest of the panel. Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton came out on DNVR. Fantastic podcast. Fantastic group of guys over there themselves. But he called in and he let it out the bag, man. Courtland Sutton is back. That being said, Kenny, how big of an impact is a guy like Courtland Sutton for Bo Nix, Sean Payton, this Denver Broncos offense, and not to let the cat out of the bag, you know, the possible projection for this team, you know, for the season? What are you thinking, Kenny?
I think it's huge, guys. And Posse, I think it's huge. For those who don't know, Kurt, my co-host on K&K, does a Broncos show with his wife, Jen, and Jen came up with the question, who's going to be the leader of this team? Well, why can't it be Courtland Sutton now? He's there. He's the veteran in the wide receiver group. He's the one that can take control of this team and be the captain, be the leader of not only the offense, but the whole team. And maybe this is the OTAs was OTAs, mini camps in a few weeks. Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited about it for you Bronco fans. And I think this guy could be the leader. I know some people don't like him, but he could be the leader that the Broncos are looking for.
I like that, man. You know, of a talent that might be devoid of those leaders, as a few of them maybe walked out the door. I mean, your QB1 walks out the door, you're losing a leader, just the way it is. You know what I mean? That just as an example. We need a leader on this team. And I like the fact that you're pointing at Courtland Sutton. I'm going to bring it over to the judge, get his thoughts on Sutton walking back in the upcoming minicamp, going to be on the field with Bo Nix, the impact that that'll have on this Denver Bronco team.
Well, I agree with Kenny. It's going to be huge. He's your number one wide receiver. 10 touchdowns last year. The sooner him and Bo Nix can get on the same page, the better off this team will be. And as inexperienced as this wide receiver room is, you need a leader like Sutton in there that's got the experience. He's been a 1,000-yard receiver, been a double-digit touchdown receiver. I expect big things from him. He's going to run routes this year over the middle. I expect big numbers like Michael Thomas this year.
Michael Thomas in his prime. Type of
prime,
year
yeah.
from Courtland Sutton would be my guess. And I like that, man. Kind of echoing what Kenny said, man. Leader not only on the field, but leader in that wide receiver room. I'm going to bring it over to Trevor, the Rocket Man. What are you thinking, Trevor? Is this a plus? Is there any negative to Courtland Sutton walking back in for this team, or is it all positive? And what are your projections?
No, it's positive, Keith. You know, and again, if you haven't listened to him talk, actually, he's pumped. I mean, the DNVR guys were pumped when he was talking. So, you know, he'll be back Tuesday. Actually, June 11th is when mandatory minicamp begins. Remember we talked about this on Tuesday though on Denver Bronco Roundup when we talked about it's voluntary minicamp. I think it was overblown story in my opinion. I think that there's players that didn't show up. John Franklin Myers, again, I'll continue to point that out. He wasn't there a couple of times. I mean, Courtland Sutton stuck out a little bit because he wasn't there all the time, but Franklin Myers missed a couple practices as well. He'll be there for mandatory minicamp. I think it was more of an agent thing, I will say. I think with Courtland Sutton, I think that he said he was killing him not to be there at a voluntary minicamp. So that tells me that it's agent kind of pushed a little bit. But I think that he's coming into mandatory minicamp ready to go. He talked to Bo Nix the night he was drafted. So I think this whole chatter that Courtland Sutton, he don't want to be a Denver Bronco, don't want to be around. I think we can put that to bed. Honestly, I think he wants to be around. He says something when he calls Bo Nix and that night and congratulates him and kind of gives him advice on, you know, being in the NFL. So I think Courtland Sutton, I think it's great news. Nothing but positive vibes for Courtland Sutton. Hopefully the Broncos and him will figure out their contract situation down the line. I think we can put this to bed and get ready to go. It's huge for Denver. This is Denver's number one wide receiver. Do not trade him away. You traded away Jerry Jeudy. It's a contract dispute, contract situation that happens around the NFL, especially around voluntary minicamps. Let's move forward with Courtland Sutton. Let's see what he can do, at least up until the trade deadline anyways.
Yeah. you nailed a lot of things. You know, that DNVR, those guys, they'd had a fantastic interview with them. Hats off to those guys, and hats off to Courtland Sutton coming on that show and really airing it all out, talking and putting to rest some of the questions like, oh, Sutton never reached out to Bo Nix. Well, no, he reached out to Bo Nix right away. They've been in contact a few times, as he said. You know, the fact that, oh, I don't think Sutton wants to be here, man. All he said was us, we through that entire interview. He is a Denver Bronco. He's not like the team, you know, the coaching staff. No, we, us. It was just good to hear him talk. And the most, you know, I listened to his interview right before we got on. And for me, him talking about the stadium being packed at the end of the season when everyone knew the Broncos were out of the playoffs, and saying, you know, we need to give more to our fans because they give so much to us. Selling out a stadium, you know, when you're a losing team at the end of the season, packing in the stadium, supporting your team, that is something to be said. And he says, like, you know what? We need to give it back, guys. Our team needs to give it back. He is locked in. And man, I can't tell you how excited I am for him to go out there and, you know, start being a part of it in minicamp, truly start being a part of it and start mixing it in. By the way, if you don't know, Tim Patrick and him are so good friends, and for them to be back out on the field again, it'll be exciting to see come training camp time as well. So
Keith, real quick,
yeah, go right ahead, buddy.
I was just gonna, because I want to give Courtland Sutton a little bit of praise. I feel like lately it's been a little bit of negativity on his side, and it's just because of the wild off season and him just not being a voluntary minicamp. When you hear Courtland Sutton talk, that is a leader. There's a reason he's been a leader. There's a reason he's been a team captain. That's huge for this team. Like Jody pointed out, the wide receiver room being a little bit inexperienced, other than Josh Reynolds, of course, and Tim Patrick. You know, there's it's inexperienced. Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, but Courtland Sutton's a leader, most importantly. So he's going to help out Bo Nix, but he's going to help out the rest of those wide receivers. You need that in your wide receiver room with Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims. So that is huge. And I just, again, as a someone watching, observing that interview, he pumped me up a ton, and that's a motivator. That's a team leader. That's a captain, and that's something we have to keep in mind when we're talking about getting rid of Courtland Sutton. You're getting rid of a captain and leader, and this team needs more leaders. They need more captains, and he's done it before. Like Jody said, 1,000-yard wide receiver before. He's going to help Bo Nix going forward, I think. No doubt about it. Does it fit? Will the fit be perfect? I'm not sure. We don't, you know, time will tell. But right now, the leadership that Courtland Sutton brings he's huge for this Denver Bronco football team going forward.
Jeremy's coming in and saying on Facebook and saying we need a leader on the field, and Courtland Sutton is almost there. Roy Osborne saying, hey there, Keith, Kenny, Trevor, Jody, and all the posse. If you don't know who the posse is, well, get to know, because you're in there right now, man. It's part of the live chat, man. We appreciate you guys so much chiming in, comments and questions. Keep them coming. But I teased at Kenny. I said, hey, Kenny's got a great question, but then I went a whole different direction. We'll see if Jody comes back here in just a moment, as all of a sudden we've dropped out a Jody visually, but we'll see if he comes back.
Guess he didn't like my question.
Yeah. We already knew the question, and we didn't want to have any part of it. No, Kenny, you'd come in early, and you told me, hey, man, I have a question for you guys. I have a question for the posse. I'm sorry, for the posse, for the panel. I'm sorry. And I'm going to give you the floor, buddy. Take it away.
Yeah, it's a simple question, guys. I just want to know, posse play along. I get Ernie's answer in a second. I see he answered before he even knew what the question was.
Yeah.
What's the ceiling for the Broncos this year, record-wise? Are we looking at playoffs as a ceiling? What I'm going to do real quick is obviously you got the Chiefs are obviously the favorites in the AFC West. I think everybody would agree with that. Then you got the Chargers, who are kind of in a rebuild. They got their franchise quarterback, but in a rebuild. And the Raiders, who are kind of like the Broncos, similar situation. Aiden O'Connell, second year. They got the veteran backup in Minshew, and they're kind of in the middle as well. So my opinion, why can't the Broncos finish second? Now I'm going to give you their out-of-conference schedule really fast. NFC opponents are Seahawks, and then the NFC South, which is, in my opinion, the weakest division of the four in the NFC. Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers, and Falcons. And then you have AFC, you got the Jets, you got the Ravens, you got the Browns, the Colts, and the Bengals. So you don't know. Some of those games may turn into winnable. Some of them may be might be harder. If you can split, this is my ceiling for the Broncos. Split the 3 between the Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs. Win one of each. That's 3 wins there. And then get 7 wins out of the 12, which I think is realistic for the Broncos. And you finish 10-7, wild card, second place in the AFC West, because the NFC South is a weak division. And I think you can go 3-1 in that division. And there's 3 more wins right there. And then you just got to get a couple in between. And you might be looking at a playoff wild card berth here, gentlemen and posse. So that's my opinion. I think ceiling for me, wild card. Maybe you get a win on the road, but they're going to sneak in. My ceiling would be a 6 seed for the Broncos wild card. I'll go to you first, Keith, since you're the one always asking us the questions.
All right, man. It's interesting when you talk about ceiling. That's different than expectations, right? We'll get into, and it's funny, our fourth horseman who's not here this evening, Mr. Albert Knoppers, has been chiming in saying, when are we going to put our way too early prediction out for the our overall record, right? And I want to get to that. It just seems it's a little bit early, so, but ceiling is different than like I said, prediction. And honestly, I think AFC Championship, I think it's that high for a ceiling. I think the right things can click. I think the right things can go right. I think you saw what the Houston Texans, just as an example, because it's all of recent memory, right? What the Houston Texans were able to do with a rookie QB, with an experienced, inexperienced, I should say, roster and a little bit of magic. You know what I mean? And it all came together. Well, we got, experience in some pretty good spots. We have experience in the coaching room, and we have a quarterback that we're really believing in for the first time in a long time. So for me, it's AFC Championship, buddy. AFC Championship game, I think, is the ceiling for me.
I like it, Keith. And I'll go to Trevor next. But why can't? And I've been hard on Bo Nix and Kurt. I know he's listening. I've been hard on Bo Nix, and I want to be wrong. So if I'm wrong, ceiling is going to be a C.J. Stroud type of year for Bo Nix and the Broncos. And why can't the Chiefs have a bad year? They're due. Maybe an injury-plagued season. We've all seen teams struggle with that. Look at the Jets with Aaron Rodgers last year. So you never, so. Pro sports is weird. Very strange things happen in professional sports, Trevor. So what's the ceiling for you? Keith's got AFC Championship.
Yeah, see, I want to definitely be on Keith's side there, but for me, it's 9 wins.
But
it's I think it's 9 wins for me, and you sneak in as a wild card. That's probably the ceiling for this team. And again, I don't like saying that, but I'm just being realistic because, again, let's take a look at this quarterback position, right? Bo Nix. I mean, do we know Bo Nix is going to start week 1? Who's going to start at running back? Who's starting at safety for sure? Who's going to be cornerback 2? I mean, middle linebacker. I mean, there's just so many questions on this team, and it's just not solved yet. I mean, yeah, the defensive line is better. The offensive line, again, who's starting at center? Other than that, I mean, yeah, they were solid last year, but the running game wasn't very good. So it's just like, I want this team to be good, and I think eventually it'll get there. But I think it's also expectations both for Bo Nix. Bo Nix, I think, just needs a season to develop, and we want to see that him just really just continue to get better. Pass the eye test, the stats can be there. Of course, it's all going to be depending on Bo Nix and how can he move this offense and how well can this team run the football. How much of an improvement are they going to be able to make on the offense side of the ball? Because let's be honest, last year defensively, the historic numbers and the turnovers they had. That was a lot of the reason they got to 8 wins last year. I mean, there's a little bit of luck on that side the Broncos had last year. And so I want to believe this roster's talented. They are talented. I just think it's a lot of unproven talent right now, and there's just so many competitions right now. It's just so hard to pinpoint one way or the other. Can this team be a 6-win team? Can they be a 9-win team? We just don't know because of the competition is still there, and we just don't know what Bo Nix is going to be yet. If it was season 2 of Bo Nix and you've seen improvement, I could be a little bit more realistic on the realistic side and say, okay, maybe this team has a shot at making the playoffs, but we just don't know with Bo Nix yet. A lot of unknowns for me right now for me to say, this team's maybe a for sure playoff team, or there's a great chance they have their playoff team. I think hopefully if there's, again, luck on their side, maybe a 9-win team in the wild card and they sneak in there.
Yeah, I like
Man,
that.
Just really quick before you go on to Jody, first I got to say, if that's your ceiling, I don't want to know what your basement is, buddy. But that being said, Kurt Valente says, get that Giants fan off the show. Ha, ha, ha. What's up, boys? Bo Nix is going to light it up this year. Run game, defense, and Bo Nix. Let's go. Got to give it up to the other half of K&K Sports Show and one Mr. Kurt Valente. Thanks for joining us on Facebook, buddy. Appreciate you so much. I'll turn it back over to you, and you can turn it back over to Jody if you like, sir.
We're going to have some fun this year with Kurt. I know, because I'm a Giants fan, for those who don't know, and we got Drew Lock now. So Kurt's going to have some side fun with me on K&K during the season. So we're going to have some fun. So be sure to tune into that each and every week. Jody, your thoughts? I know you were a big Russell Wilson guy. You learned to, you're a Bronco fan, die hard. You got to, believe in Bo Nix. So what is your ceiling for the Broncos this year with all the changes they had in the offseason?
I think playoffs is probably my ceiling. But what I really want to see is just improvement from Bo Nix week to week. I want to see some things we didn't see last year in keeping drives alive on third down. Throws over the middle, just some different things. I want to see a Sean Payton offense. But I go back to, they went to the NFC Championship Drew Brees' first year when he was under Sean Payton, and that team had a lot of holes as well. If this clicks, I can see this going that way. But that's really where I'm at. I just want to see steady improvement from Bo Nix. I don't want to be in the Arizona Cardinals position next year. Are we thinking about drafting another quarterback again?
I like it, Jody. I like it.
Good question, buddy. Good question.
Thanks, Keith. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys letting me ask that question. I thought it was a nice, appropriate time to get thoughts before the mini camp. What can the ceiling be for this team? And why can't the Broncos fill that Houston Texans mold last year? The Jaguars were the huge favorites to win the division. Keith, you said AFC Championship.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? The Chiefs, there's only so many years a team can do it, before somebody takes over. And, I think one of these sooner than later years, somebody's going to overtake those Chiefs. So why can't it be the Broncos this year?
Yeah, and for me, honestly, I don't want to cap my team. I don't want to cap the ceiling too low. You know what I mean? I think anything is possible. John Elway used to run out on the field and he'd say, to his teammates, it's like, we've only got 38 seconds. I still think it's possible. Let's go out there and do it. It was a never lose mentality. And for me, I just can't sit there and cap my team saying, well, I think they're, only capable of 7 wins or, something. I just, expectations are too high, especially if you get the opportunity to get into the playoffs. Anything is possible. That's the thing I love about the NFL is it's one game. It's not a series. It's not 2-3-2. It's not 2-1-1-1-1. Any of these things, you get one opportunity. And it's who shows up that Sunday, and who's going to go out there and ball out. And if you come up just a little bit short, guess what? The other team moves on, and that could be the Broncos. So why not? Why not? Like I said, like Trevor alluded to, that DNVR interview, that Courtland Sutton interview, and the way he started talking, man, talk about getting juiced up. They were saying, that's what you need to play before game 1, and we won't lose. And then he continued talking, and they're like, that's what you need to play before game 2, and then we won't lose. You know what I mean? It was like very, very motivational. It's great to have, as you said, a leader that can be on this team, someone that can point everyone in the right direction, and someone who still has that positivity after years and years of losses and not making it, and quarterback carousels and the whole 9 yards. Courtland Sutton still has it, and I'm excited for what he's going to bring this season. So.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. I wanted to kind of segue, man. Two people actually had interviews in the Denver media. Well, you talk about Mike Kils, which I mentioned in our ad, and also Troy Rank. Both sat down with Justin Simmons, and they talked to him a little bit about his exit. And I just wanted to, I don't know if anybody got a little opportunity to listen or watch any of that, but I wanted to bring up just a couple of things. One, I came on here and I've talked about how I thought Justin Simmons is just a standout human being, great person. And like I said, if he's a hero of yours, go ahead and meet him. Even though they say don't meet your heroes, he's that type of guy. He stands up to everything he shows out, whether it be his participation in the community or just the type of teammate that he always seemed to be. And I just wanted to point out the fact that here's a guy, and he said that on his last day, and this has been, now aired out by multiple outlets, but he went around and he talked to every single person in the building and told them thank you before he left. I don't know, man. Justin Simmons was a huge leader and a big part of this community. So I guess I'll go around the horn. I'll start with Jody this time, though. How big of a loss do you think Justin Simmons is going to be to this Denver Broncos team? And secondarily, if you'd like to, where do you think is his best fit moving forward?
I think it's a huge loss. I think it's a huge loss, not just on the field, but in the locker room. I mean, he was up for NFL Man of the Year multiple times. He's a true leader of this defense, and this defense is young. Who do you have on this team that's a true leader? You lost Josie Jewell, who had been here a while, who was your play caller. Is Pat Surtain ready to step into that role? You're young at multiple positions on this team on defense, really. He was really your true veteran. So maybe not so much on the field, but definitely off the field. That's where you're going to lose Simmons as a leader.
Trevor, over to you, man. Justin Simmons seemed like he was that glue on the defense, man. And now, Sean Payton said it was, a difficult thing. Obviously, Justin Simmons is looking now for the right opportunity, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be in the Broncos. How big of a loss is Justin Simmons for this Denver Bronco team?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it makes you wonder, Justin Simmons, I think I just makes me wonder, could there have been something done to restructure his contract for him to stay? But again, I don't want to go clear back in the past and, kind of relive that again. I will say, I think on the field is durability. I think what you can count on Justin Simmons is when he was great. But again, he was great in coverage. But what you can count on with Justin Simmons is he was durable. My question is, this is why it's a question, is with Brandon Jones is, durability. This guy hasn't never played a full season in the NFL, and he's been a rotational safety. So we can count on that. Again, they didn't upgrade from Justin Simmons this year. I'll just say that right now. They just didn't. As of right now, they didn't. And so I think you're going to miss him on the field with his durability, and off the field, of course, with what he's done in the community, and he continues to do. Shout out to Justin Simmons. Huge shout out to Justin Simmons. Not even a Denver Bronco. He's still in the Denver community, and he's doing the stuff that he's doing. Fantastic human being. Goes around and shakes everybody's hands and just thanks them for everything they've done. That's a heck of a human being. You're just not going to replace that leadership in the locker room. So the leadership, the durability that he brought on the field and off the field, it's incredible, and credit to Justin Simmons for what he's continuing to do. And whoever gets him, whatever team he lands on, they're going to get a heck of a leader on day one. As soon as he steps into the door, you're getting a leader with Justin Simmons. And huge loss for Denver. I think it's their biggest loss of the offseason was losing Justin Simmons, honestly. I know he didn't play great last year, but, Brandon Jones, short sample size, he played better for the Dolphins, but a little bit this year. But short sample size and just durability has been a big issue with him and with Caden Stearns. So it's just that's why safety is a huge question for me. But no, big shout out to Justin Simmons for what he's doing in the community, and he's going to definitely be missed in Broncos country.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenny, I'm going to pose this a little bit differently to you. New York Giants is a storied franchise, and they've certainly had those leaders on and off the field. you've seen them come and go. You're an older gentleman like myself. So, what is the key when you lose somebody from whatever reason, whether it's a contract dispute, whether it's just the end of a contract, whether it's end of a career, and they end up walking away, and all of a sudden you lose that leader? What's the recipe? And by the way, we're going to throw a little aloha from Patrick Wiltsey on the screen. You can just say hello to him as well.
Patrick, I hope I passed for my Hawaiian shirt there. To answer your question, Keith, I think, I don't want to say replace, but somebody's got to step up to be that guy. The Giants had Eli Manning. They've had guys in that spot, and the next person takes it up. But I'll go back to your Broncos because I was thinking about it while you guys were talking. Okay,
fair enough.
Yeah, you lost Justin Simmons. Huge loss, like Trevor and Jody said. You also lost Russell Wilson, man of the year. Okay, so why can't on defense a guy like, easy one would be PS2? Why can't he step up and be that community guy, be the face of the Broncos on the defense? But also some veterans on the defense. How about Nick Bonito and Alex Singleton? How about those two guys stepping up and being some community leaders? And on the offensive side, Bo Nix is a rookie. Maybe he becomes that guy that Russell Wilson became. He becomes the face of the franchise and becomes the community guy. Or, we just said Courtland Sutton, Tim Patrick. You got a lot of veterans on offense that can take the place, not replace, but can also do what these guys were doing. And somebody needs to step up and be that guy to go to the children's hospitals, go to the community charity events, and host a golf outing or a golf event. Somebody needs to step up. Multiple players need to step up, and I think you will see that on the Broncos. So yes, I do agree that it's a huge loss, but you guys will forget about that because somebody will take the place and have that opportunity to take the place of what Justin Simmons and Russell Wilson did, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned about all the opportunity we've had because it seems like, that's kind of been where the Broncos have been. A lot of opportunity for leadership to kind of step up, and we've been kind of waiting for those leaders. And a lot of times we're told, well, that's not their personality, and they're not that type of guy, and they're not, it's like, boy, we need those people. I want it to be a Bo Nix. It would be great if it was like an Alex Singleton, like you pointed out. It would be great to have those guys that not only are leaders on the field, but leaders off the field, and really pave the way of what it means to be a Denver Bronco. Like I said, on and off the field, in the community, and on the field. So, for me, I'm looking for that, and I think Justin Simmons is a big loss. And we talked about it before, but it goes right down the middle. You lost Justin Simmons, you lost, Josie Jewell, you lost Lloyd Cushenberry, you lost Russell Wilson. You go right down the center, whether it be offense or defense, and you lost some guys that are out there, getting protections lined up, getting guys lined up, making sure everyone was right and in the right position. And you got to replace all four of those guys this season. Those are leaders on the field and sometimes leaders off the field. So I think there's a lot of big holes to plug, not just Justin Simmons. So,
Keith, can I give you guys who I think would be perfect?
Absolutely.
Real quick. Tim Patrick. I know he's hurt the last 2 years, but what an opportunity to go to the children's hospitals or the high schools and talk to the high school athletes or the Pee-wee level athletes and talk about, how he overcame 2 years of injuries and be a leader in the community and go out and get, like I said, go to the hospitals, do some charity events. Tim Patrick, I think, would be a perfect person to take on that role.
Got to get back to the posse, and it's also given me a fantastic segue. Pearl's coming in here and saying, hey, hello, and sorry I'm late. Air conditioner problems. Well, by all means, Pearl, stay cool, especially as cool as you usually are. I want you to stay cool. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Get that air conditioner running. It's important as the dog days of summer are coming in, but also, guys, very important is making sure that you're all lined up. If you're a big fan of Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, or Estate Gold at wholesale prices, man, Morgan Trinkets is your place to go. With over 33 years experience in the business, guys, I'm telling you, beautiful, beautiful pieces that you need to go over on Morgan Trinkets on Facebook and check out today. Now, if you're like, hey, I'd like to really check them out in person, they used to be nationwide, but now they just specialize in Northern Colorado, Southern Wyoming, and they have shows galore. Pearl, I apologize. I wish I had a whole list off here to the side because she gave me the whole list of shows. But I know if you go over to Morgan Trinkets right now, it's probably either listed or Messenger, and you'll get to know all the places that she'll be in the next month. If you're looking for silver, starting at $10, goes all the way up to $2,000. And believe me, guys, beautiful pieces on Facebook. Let her know if you don't see what you like. And anything over $50 is shipped absolutely free. And if you check them out at one of their shows, all major credit cards are accepted. Check out Morgan Trinkets today. They're our fantastic sponsor. You guys have been supporting them so well, and they reached out to me and said, thank you so much. So thank you guys so much. And thank you, Morgan Trinkets, for putting out such quality pieces, Southwest Jewelry, Pottery, and Estate Gold at wholesale prices. Check them out today. I'll drop the link here in just a moment. And Pearl, stay cool. Stay cool, Pearl. All right. Yes. All right. Patrick Wiltsey is willing to hold a golf event. If anyone wants to play in Hawaii,
I'm in.
Kenny's in.
That'll be our off-season get together. We talked about next year's draft, but let's go to Hawaii, guys. Let's do it.
We'll have our own Pro Bowl
Hawaiian shirt, and we're going good.
Pro Bowl, DBR Pro Bowl in Hawaii. I like it, man. A little golfing event with Patrick Wiltsey. Now that's more my style. You're talking Green Bay. I'm like, Green Bay and all the things to do in Green Bay. I'm just kidding. Nothing against Green Bay community. I'm sure we have a lot of people from Green Bay tuning in right now. So Roy Osborne said it didn't even hit 70 degrees where he's at in eastern South Dakota, man. I'll tell you what, it was a burner here today. I'm burning up, and I'm kind of in the hot box right now because I can't have the fan going. So, get a little warm around the collar. It's all right, though. Every day is 70, at least here in Hawaii, says Patrick. Isn't that beautiful? So, guys, one other thing that kind of came out of the Sutton conversation is that he's going to be participating in a home run derby and having a few of his Denver Bronco brethren out on the field. So I'd like to weigh in, and I'm going to go around the horn, but I'd love the posse to get in on this as well. Kenny, I want you to choose who would hit the most home runs in we'll even say it's just an underhand softball, nice easy pitch, short field. But the four of us on the screen, who's going to hit the most? Who's going to hit the least? We'll go around the horn. We're going to start with Kenny, and I would love the posse to chime in as well. Kenny, what are you thinking, buddy?
I got to go with the big guy down below me, the youngster, Mr. Trevor Salzman's going to hit about 30. Keith, me and you will be fighting for last, but since I'm a guest on here, I'm going to say I'll finish last. If you were on K&K, you'd be last, but we're going to fight for last, me and you. And I think you get me by one. Right. But Jody would give a nice little battle there. I think he would start off hot and then fade a little late because fatigue. But I think Trevor would stamina, I think, would get us all.
There you go. The stamina wins out in that youth. Trevor, do you have it in you? Are you going to bomb 30 over the fence? And who comes in first? Who comes in last on the panel?
Well, you guys, you have to mention where it's at, Coors Field, the thin air. I mean, it's a little. It does definitely get a little. Not only just hot, but the thin air can definitely get to you after a while. So yeah, I mean, I definitely I've been used to. I've played in the thin air before, so I think so. I think I have a leg up a little bit there with with the altitude and stuff like that. It's definitely real. I will say that it is real. No, but I mean, again, yeah. Hopefully, I sure hope so. Of course, it's a different animal, though. I mean, again, the balls fly there, so I think we all will be definitely competing more than we think. I will say that.
All right, but give me your first. Give me your who takes top. Give me who takes last, man. Come on, it's all right, man. I can handle it.
I cannot pick myself. I'm gonna go with Jody because Jody's like another Colorado guy. So I think I could see Jody blasting some out there and maybe even beating me. Who knows? I mean, he's definitely. I don't know if I think we're the same distance from Denver, but I think that we both are pretty. Definitely know the altitude and what it takes. I think to do it. So I think that it's going to stay inside Colorado, and I think I'm going to pick Jody.
All right, and who struggles the most? We'll put it that way.
Ooh. I don't know. I don't know because Kenny's
we got tough skin. It's all right, buddy. It's all right, man.
I think,
jeez.
Keith. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with you because Kenny's sure. I think Kenny's sure is gonna give him some luck.
Oh, there you go. I love it. I love it. The lucky Hawaiian shirt, of course, man. I wrote the wrong digs. Well, that's okay, man. Jody, man, bringing it over to you. Bringing it around the horn, man. Who's gonna hit the most dingers in a home run contest? Who's gonna struggle the most? What do you got, buddy?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. It's got to be someone in this thin altitude, like Trevor said. That's pretty. That's a huge advantage. Kenny, sorry, at almost sea level, that's probably not going to help him there for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Camden Yards is a sandbox.
What do you got, Jody?
That is true.
What's your final decision?
Probably Trevor.
Trevor is going to hit the most dingers. Picking Trevor over himself. And who's going to struggle the most?
Anyone that can wear that shirt probably will struggle hitting home runs.
There's fans of the Hawaiian print, and then there's those who may not be fans of the Hawaiian print. I think I found out where Jody lies on that. Douglas is coming in and saying, new to this cast, hello all, Broncos Country. It's a simple way to look at this team. We got a way better QB. We got a better D. We got a better wide receiver. Secondary, question mark. Eagles playoffs for sure. And yeah, we just got done talking about, ceilings. Kenny had a great question, by the way, Douglas. If you rewind, I know that you said you just jumped in. My ceiling was AFC Championship. Trevor's thinking, we can get 9 wins. You know what I mean? And be in that possibility. So, I think there is that thought and that process. Does it equal playoffs for sure? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's for sure, but I know that, like I said, I'm not going to cap them and say that they're not playoff capable. No way. I think this team has enough talent, and chips fall in the right way, or the games fall in the right way. Absolutely, you can take home a win in not in the AFC Championship. I didn't go that far, but you can get a win in the playoffs. You can get a win in the playoffs for sure. Patrick's not so hip on the Judge. All of a sudden, he's saying no haters, Hawaiian print forever. So, to answer your question, or to answer my own question, if I had to pick, I would have picked Jody right out the get. Man, there's just something about him coming in there, man. He's like a John Kruk type of guy, in my opinion. Just goes in there and is just able to have that streak of just crushing it. Probably got that big old wad, from the 90s still in his cheek. I'm going with Jody, the Judge, crushing it out of the park with the most home runs. And inside knowledge, guys, I played on a mixed league, underhand softball, and I think I had the most strikeouts of anybody in the entire league. I am not the guy you want cracking it over the fence. I appreciate the support, Ernie, going with me, but you'll be lucky if I get like I don't know, a single on an error. That's probably that's probably a good thing for me. So.
Well, it's Coors Field, so I mean, just got to hit a blooper, and it's going to be a single. So I just we're hitting in the biggest outfield in Major League Baseball. So I think you will get some base hits. And also, by the way, so wait, Keith, and you're in that league. I've played baseball like my whole entire life and a softball league. So I was curious, Kenny and Jody, do you guys what's your guys' experience like baseball wise?
You want to go first, Jody?
I played all through high school.
Oh,
there you go.
Same, all throughout high school. Actually coached a lot of Little League and coached Miles Austin, the old football player.
Yeah.
And my highlight
The Cowboys
in
wide
baseball-
receiver.
Yeah, Kurt and I coached him in Little League All-Stars.
Wow.
And my highlight in my pitching days was I struck out Wayne Corbett, the old Jets wide receiver. He graduated a year before us in Garfield, and I struck him out with a hanging curveball that froze him. I'll never forget that. But Keith, I'm going to change my mind if that's okay. I'm going to go Jody winning because I forgot he's an Astros fan, and he'll call Altuve and Bregman to learn how to get the drum bang and to know what pitch is coming. So he's going to beat Trevor in the later innings there with the cheating.
Oh, man.
Buzz, Jody, buzz. That's all I got to say. No.
All love, Jody. All love.
Low blow.
I got to say hello real quick because Graham's coming in late over on YouTube saying howdy and also saying, wow, that's cool, Kenny. And that could be cool about Wayne Corbett. That could be cool about
both actually. Wayne Corbett grew up with him. He was a year older than us, Kurt and I, same high school. So we played football with him. We did that. And never in a million years you'd think he would be in the NFL. He wasn't even our number one wide receiver. We were a run-oriented team. But Miles Austin had something about him, that and such a good kid to coach in Little League Baseball too. So I was very happy to see he went. And actually Kurt's sister's friends with Miles Austin's sister. So small world.
And just last couple days, I just watched an old episode of Hard Knocks where Miles Austin was trying to make the Cowboys. So yeah, very small world. It seems like it's all combined. It was compacted into this little episode, and it came like you said, full circle, buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open it up. Those are the main things that I had. But the last thing, like Trevor just said, mini camps right up around the corner. Jody, for you, man, what are you looking for as we've kind of moved on from OTAs? Mini camp is now going to be starting up. What is the next step for this Denver Bronco team? What battles are you looking forward to? What is it about OTAs, I guess, that you want to see?
Besides the obvious one at quarterback, I want to see who takes charge at middle linebacker and who is going to call plays this year without Josie Jewell being there. Does Cody Barton step up? Does Jonas Griffith from a couple of years ago regain that form? Or do they allow Alex Singleton? I think that's going to be huge. And same on offense. I want to see who's going to snap the ball to Bo Nix. I think that's going to be key. I don't want this to be a long, drawn-out battle at center. And your quarterback doesn't get getting reps with multiple guys and not getting, continuity with one guy. Those are the two main ones for me.
Like it. I understand that, man. Like you said, we talked about kind of the center of this team, or I just talked about the center that kind of got, needs to be replaced as we've let all those guys go one way or another. You pointed out a couple of key ones that you'll be looking at for OTAs in that middle linebacker and that center position. Trevor, man, what are you looking for as we roll on from OTAs? And I just said OTAs, but we get into mini camp is what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I probably can have a pretty long list of questions, honestly. But from the safety room, it's something to point out. Again, I talked about it earlier with Brandon Jones and Caden Stearns. It's just like which one of those guys steps up. I think PJ Locke will be a starter, but are we going to see a kind of a mixed baggage with Brandon Jones and Caden Stearns as far as them splitting reps, or which one's going to emerge? Those two both have injury issues and can't really stay on the field and haven't played a full season in the NFL yet. So really be interesting to see which one steps up, or is it Riley Moss that possibly moves over to safety and he's not a cornerback? I don't think that Denver's ready to make that move yet, but is that something that may consider down the line? For me, it's also the running backs. That's a pretty crowded room. Is it Jaleel McLaughlin, who I think is starting to get up, get a little heat his way a little bit, as far as Sean Payton's really starting to praise him a little bit as far as being a guy that's first in the room at 5:30 a.m. Before everybody else gets his workout in and he's ready to go for practice. And so I think he's got a little bit of a leg up in that. We have not really heard about P. Ryan yet. Is he going to be a part of this team yet? Javonte Williams as well. Is he going to be on this roster? A lot of questions, I think, in that running back room. What's going to happen going forward. And so Those are the two that stand out the most. But honestly, there's questions. There's other questions that I don't think we're going to be running out of, I think, per se. So I think I left you guys a little bit left to ask question-wise.
Yeah. Trevor's like, I let me just give you the one or two answers I have on this team, and then the rest are all questions. But that being said, Kenny, I know, again, maybe not your team, but, again, getting out of OTAs, hitting into minicamp, whether it be the Broncos, and you have some examples here of what you want to see or what you want to see from your teams in general, is you're excited for your Giants to now be heading into the same minicamp as well. What are your thoughts on this minicamp for the Broncos?
Oh yeah, well, knowing you guys and knowing Kurt, and you guys likewise, you guys come on our Giants show. You feel like you obviously know the most about your team, so mine's the Giants, but I also know a lot, I feel, about the Broncos. And I agree with Trevor, the running back room is going to be a competition to watch. Javonte Williams, year 2 after his injury, I think with the contract year, he is someone to watch out for this year to have a monster year. The other competitions I'm watching are both on offense. Now that Sutton signed, I still want Mims to be the number 2 guy and not return kicks or punts. Find somebody else to do that. You have the best special teams coach in Coach Westhoff. He'll find somebody, McLaughlin or somebody else, maybe an undrafted free agent. I hear there's Watson. Is that correct? The Watson, running back. Yeah. I feel he can be an opportunity waiting to happen over there to return kicks. With the new rules, let Mims be the wide receiver you drafted. And then the last one I'm looking at, Keith and fellas, is the tight end. I think there's a possibility Krull can be a breakout player this year. Middle of the field threat for Bo Nix on play actions. We've seen him last year have opportunity. He made some catches. I think he may have an opportunity to shine and be the future tight end for the Broncos if Dulcich struggles or gets hurt again. So that's a competition to watch as well.
Can I piggyback off that for a sec?
Absolutely, man. I'll go right ahead, buddy.
If Greg Dulcich, I think, gets hurt again in training camp or preseason, I think he is a candidate to get cut from this team. There's too many other tight ends on this team when you don't have a bona fide starter, to waste a roster spot on a guy that's not playing and hasn't played.
Can I say I 100% agree?
and
I mean, I would love to see what he showed his rookie season and when he was healthy, but we just haven't seen it.
I agree.
I will say this: if it's a season-ending injury, then yes, but I don't know. There's a lot of tight ends there, but what's the vertical threat tight end talent there right now? I mean, Kroll, and then who else? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Troutman's not that guy. I mean, he can do a mixture of different things, of course, but I think that you can, if you're missing Dulcich for a couple weeks or something, I think maybe they just keep him on the books because, again, you cut him, you're not saving a ton. He's still on his rookie deal, so that's why I say if it's a full season, then yeah, I think they cut him because they're just tired of it and they're sick of him being hurt all the time. Which again, it's not his fault. I mean, it just happens. Again, we're hoping the best for Greg Dulcich and that he can make an impact on this football team. But I think they've been patient with Dulcich up to this point. I think that they would just ride it out, and after this season, just kind of see where he's at, depending on how bad or how long he might be out for.
Yeah, I still like the idea of signing Michael Thomas to play tight end.
And I'll give you one giant one real quick because it has to do with the Broncos in the past. I'm looking at the quarterback competition with Daniel Jones and Drew Lock. Why can't Drew Lock get an opportunity? Daniel Jones, I do not think, is the future of the Giants. The problem with Daniel Jones is the contract that we gave him is not guaranteed unless he gets hurt. So Daniel Jones got hurt this year. You're looking at a Russell Wilson situation with the Giants if we were to release him. If we keep him on the sidelines this year, you can get out of that contract for like $10 million or $11 million, which is nothing. So I'm curious to see how this competition rolls with Drew Lock. If he's given the opportunity, heck, Sam Darnold's getting an opportunity in Minnesota, and Geno Smith got that opportunity in Seattle after a few years of sitting. So why not Drew Lock? Why not give him a chance? So I'm curious to see that competition in the Giants' land.
I like that,
come
man.
mini camp and come preseason.
I like that. Always a Drew Lock fan, so I'd like to see him get that opportunity. It was great to see him get emotional up in Seattle when he got that win, and I think this guy that's matured a little bit, and it'll be interesting to see what he could do, especially in a system like Dable puts together up there with the Giants. I want to throw one last one back. I'm sorry, not that one, but this one from Graham, kind of back over at Trevor, because he says Jones got a pretty big contract. Does that hurt your decisions and contemplations on the position that he holds and all the other competition that sits around him?
Again, and I'm glad you brought this up because I was going to bring it up too. His cap hit's actually $3 million this year, so he's not actually making a ton. It's 2025 where he's making $8 million a year. So yeah, of course you want to see Brandon Jones take over that safety position and be that starter. My thing is, over his career, he's not done that. He's been a rotational safety and when he's been healthy. And again, he's never played a full season in the NFL. So that's why I say durability is going to hurt, I think, the Broncos a ton when it comes to Justin Simmons, because he was a guy that was consistently back there in the leadership and all those qualities he brings. And so Brandon Jones' contract is 2 years, $13 million, with a dead cap hit of almost $2 million after 2025. So it's just more of a 2-year deal, and it's just kind of wait and see how he performs. So yeah, Brandon Jones, of course, we want to see him be the full-time starter, but I think he's a rotational guy right now. You've got talent back there. If Riley Moss is a quarterback too, you need to try to get the best out of Riley Moss. If he can be a safety, I would certainly throw him in the mix as being a guy that can be a safety and that Denver can get production out of this guy.
Yeah, the one thing that I would just say for Broncos country, and the hope is that I make it to training camp once again this year. That'll be year 3 in a row. So, and I'll maybe get to see it firsthand at that point. But everything we've seen in OTAs or heard about in OTAs is a heavy rotation at corner, heavy rotation at safety, sometimes corner at safety, sometimes safeties at corners, a heavy rotation at the running back position, a heavy rotation at the wide receiver position. So these guys are getting worked out, and they're getting worked out in different positions. And it'll be really interesting to see whether it's Brandon Jones, who is brought in and given a little bit of money, or whether it's a guy like PJ Locke, or all the way up and down. Like I said, safety is going to be as you point out, Trevor, is going to be a big one. We talked about wide receiver, we talked about running back. There's a lot of positions that need to be kind of figured out, and a lot of positions that are getting a lot of heavy rotation. And then throw on top of that, we got to figure out special teams on top of all this, like Kenny was kind of talking about as well, removing Marvin Mims. So, man, it's going to be an interesting offseason. I hope to see the very best rise up as we see the year 2 of Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos kind of coming together, and seeming like things are starting to mesh and starting to really work in our favor. And I hope that's true. I want to just jump in really quick to the comments. Douglas is saying, we will see soon. Game 1 is right around the corner. Yeah, I think it's like about 90 days now, until we see the first kickoff. I know it was just not that long ago. We're talking about 100 days. So Clayton's coming in here. He says, man, what a great way to top off the week. And thanks, guys. Well, Clayton, I appreciate you jumping in here, man. And he's always coming in here his regular way saying, hey, guys, and smash that like and share, guys. Guys, I can't tell you that we have grown and we appreciate it, but we would love to continue to reach more Broncos fans just like you. So every like, every share, every subscribe, every comment, every thumbs up, we appreciate it. Whether it be on the Denver Bronco Roundup, whether it be on Rocky Mountain Sports Network, whether it be on Facebook, whether it be on YouTube, we appreciate you guys so much. We'd love for you to go out there on all of those platforms, making sure that you're covering all of them, Rocky Mountain Sports Network and the Denver Bronco Roundup. And we appreciate you coming in, man. But that being said, Clayton, let's make sure he doesn't have anything. He says, I'm telling you guys, Bo is going to shine. 1-2 punch at running backs, great wide receivers, short routes, and Bo using his legs in play action as well. So Clayton's big and excited, even though he's coming in late. And like I said, I was excited to start this show. Guys, we're wrapping it up. We're right here at an hour, man. So I got to go ahead and I'm going to go around the horn. I'm going to start with the judge, get some final thoughts. I'm going to end up with our fantastic guest for this evening, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick from the K&K Sports Show. But first, Jody, kick it off, bud. And
just excited to see some battles in camp. Excited for Sutton to get back. Excited for him to get some reps with Bo Nix and get that rapport going. I think that's going to be huge. We're less than 100 days till football. Be here before you know it.
I know, man. It's coming up quick and a lot of excitement. Brand new quarterback, brand new threads. I think it was somebody else that said that, brand new threads and a brand new season and brand new quarterback. Can't wait to see what's happening, man. It's only, like you said, less than 100 days away. Can't wait for these battles. Trevor, man, what are your thoughts, man, as we get out of here this evening?
I just want to thank the posse, our Roundup royalty, for always supporting us and continue to be here even on a Friday night. We really appreciate you guys asking questions and comments, everything. We try to give you the best information we possibly can and as accurate as we possibly can. I want to thank all you guys as well for being here. Kenny, thanks for joining us tonight. Jody, it's great to see you back. Can't wait to do more shows with you, and Kenny, you as well. And Keith, you're just best host out there. So, just nothing but praise there for you. Even though, yes, I mean, I said that you may struggle a little bit hitting, but it gave you a little bit bloopers there. So I'm making up for this a little bit. Great show, guys, on a Friday night. And just want to thank you all for everything. And it's continued to be positive, and it's great to see Courtland Sutton back and motivated and bought in. And it's just can't wait for Denver Bronco football. We'll be right around the corner on Tuesday, breaking everything down, mandatory Mini-Camp as well. So, I mean, just can't wait to break all that down, and you should get some good interviews and information from that day. So on Tuesday, so when everything starts up. So I hope you guys have a great weekend and stay safe out there, and appreciate you guys. Go Broncos.
Yeah, go Broncos, man. And I guess we could say a little go Giants as well as we kick it over to the stepfather, man. I appreciate you coming over, man. Like we said, it's not always possible for Kenny to be on here, especially on a Friday night. It's a special treat, man, and what a special treat it was, man. Appreciate you being on here, Kenny. What do you got for some final thoughts before we jump on out of here?
The appreciations for you guys. Always welcoming on your show every time, and the posse's always awesome. I know I'm part of the posse most of the times, but yeah, real Friday night off. I'm looking forward to mini camps. For those interested, I'm a Giants fan, but Hard Knocks is doing a special on the GM version, like things that go behind the scenes, and it's on the Giants, and it's going to be I think it's a 6-episode series, like everything that goes behind the scenes on the combine, the draft. They said the Saquon Barkley decision to let him go, trade, calling up for trades, seeing all the behind the scenes stuff. So not because it's the Giants, but I think that'd be something interesting that a lot of people would like to see, the behind the scenes stuff, how GMs work, as opposed to seeing just the players. This one's going to be about the GMs. So that's something to look forward to. And if you want to check out K&K, Kurt, I'll just plug the Broncos show Wednesday nights after K&K. Kurt puts his East Coast style into it, and it's always a lot of fun with his wife, Jen. Keith, you're going to be joining Kurt hopefully Wednesday night, so definitely wanted to point that out. Hopefully that works out. I know he said he's going to invite you as a guest first time, and it should be a pretty fun show that he has lined up for you guys. And then we got some stuff in the works too. Kurt's working on a little side show. It's going to be called Kurt's 1.5 cents, because 2 cents is too much. And it's going to be not just sports. Let's just say that much. He's going to throw some, topics around the world out there for everybody. So in Kurt Valenti style. So something to check out. We'll be getting back to you on that. So that's the first time I'm breaking that news. We're working on that show. And then real quick, what's the scoop? What's the scoop with Scoops? Don't want to forget him. Trevor, thank you for filling in for me the last couple of weeks behind the scenes for him, helping him out, producing the last couple Sundays. But all the hot topics of the week, Scoops will give you his take on it in the style of only Scoops can do. So must see TV, 9 p.m. Eastern Sunday.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, Kenny, fantastic stuff that you guys got on over there. And like I said, just when I thought there wasn't, there was already tons going on over on the K&K Sports Show. Look at that. 1.5 cents coming around the corner, man. Looking forward to that as the topic du jour and Kurt Valenti come together for a podcast. That should be interesting, to say the least. So I'm ready to be tuned in. That's all I gotta say, man. That's got my interest peaked beyond all measure. So it's what they do over there at the K&K Sports Show, and Kenny is part of that. And you can tell, guys, whether it's the fantastic commentary you had tonight or some of the stuff that you see over there on K&K Sports Show. He does fantastic work, and appreciate you coming on the show, being a guest, and telling you guys, K&K Sports Show, you guys need to check them out. Last comment of the evening, Douglas says he's waiting for the throwback jerseys so he can order his new Bo Nix jersey. So, yeah, those throwbacks should be pretty nice. I'm loving those. Obviously, being the age that me and Kenny are, it's not throwback. It's what we're used to. But that being said, Broncos Country, remember, we can catch the Denver Bronco Roundup every Tuesday, every Friday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Always make sure you're tuned in, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube. And then, again, Rocky Mountain Sports Network, lots of things going on, whether it be Settle the Scores, getting all your Rockies coverage. We'll have upcoming Avalanche and Nuggets coverage. Unfortunately, it's now upcoming as they both exited out of the playoffs and out of the postseason. And we'll be looking on to next year. But Broncos Country, of course, you got the Denver Bronco Roundup as well, part of the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and we've got you covered as, man, off-season's just starting to get heated up. So don't forget about our fantastic sponsor, Morgan Trinkets. I forgot to drop their link. I will promise I'll do that here late. I'm sorry, Morgan Trinkets, for not doing that earlier, but check out Morgan Trinkets on Facebook, guys, and all the amazing shows they have going on in the area of Northern Colorado and Southern Wyoming. With that being said, guys, we got to get out of here. Can't wait to see you guys again on the next podcast. But until then, we got to keep our feet in the stirrups, keep our guns in our holsters, and keep the Broncos in our hearts. Until next time, we're going to get out of here. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much.